Boker Tov, everyone. So good to be here with you as we start our fourth day of Elul already. And today, it's really kind of interesting. So I set a calendar of who will be honored on what days throughout the month of Elul. And the person who has given their reflection for today is Chaplain Bonnie Leopold, who you might know every Friday morning. She does sound healing. She adds so much to our community with her knowledge and her spirit as a chaplain and as someone who is well versed in Musar. I know she's brought that to our community. And this morning in particular, she is actually, it just happens to be that she is being honored by the Musar Institute as the healer and the teacher that she is. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Chaplain Bonnie today for this really wonderful day of honor, and we will have the privilege of learning from you in just a few moments in our Elul program. But before we do, why don't we begin, as we begin each morning, with Psalm 27, with these words of expressing our longing, our seeking during this season of preparation. Achat she'alti me'et Adonai, ota avakesh. Achat she'alti me'et Adonai, ota avakesh. Shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai, lachazot benoam Adonai, ulevacher v'heichalo. Lachazot benoam Adonai, ulevacher v'heichalo. This morning, Bonnie shares with us a piece of her story, a personal piece of her story, which shows how sometimes, even when we are in the midst of real challenge, we can find good from it.
Just before Passover in 2018, I was living in a marriage that had already fallen apart. Neither one of us had the words to say that we were over. We had built up anger, exploded at every direction of our homes and our lives. I was the passive one who kept believing in a miracle that the other person would change. I took the verbal abuse into every cell of my being, hoping for something to happen to change my life. It took over 14 of the 18 years we were together to realize that I was the one who could make that change in my life. I was the one who finally had a moment of clarity when I looked over at this person that I still absolutely loved, but knew we could no longer live together. I said, "We are done." My vision became clearer. The universe opened to me with so many blessings as I cried over the changes that just happened without any struggle, except my tears. I wanted that marriage to work and realized it was out of my control. I cried as I moved furniture to storage. I cried as I packed boxes. I cried as our realtor brought more boxes and tape and special tape dispensers that worked when they wanted to. I was left to take care of most of that townhouse that had been shared for almost 16 years. We had remodeled everything except ourselves. My rabbi at the time told me of a home that would be perfect for me. Another couple in the congregation were getting divorced, and this place was meant for me. When I drove to see the home, I discovered a mobile home park. I'd never even been in a mobile home park before. I drove up to the top of the hill, followed the directions, and at the end of this green open space was the house. I was welcomed inside in a maze, 2,100 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with patios, and a lanai, and even a dog run. I stood at the huge island in the kitchen and looked out onto the green grass and palm trees and said, "This is my home." I wrote about this place in a journal years before. I wrote, "If I could, I would have a gathering retreat home where others can drop by for meditation or holiday gatherings and arts and crafts to express themselves, or yoga on the green and shared cooking around this amazing island in the kitchen." The divine had given me courage to leave what was not working and to find the perfect space for me. It took that one moment of clarity to make this happen, and I am grateful for this day.
And Bonnie, we are so grateful for you. Grateful for your willingness to share this piece of yourself, to share your vulnerability, to share your spirit and your ability to find blessing. Your story is a moment of clarity in your life, a moment when you realize just how big the world can be. Right now, I know there's a lot of change that's been thrust upon us. There's a lot outside of our control. And that change, everything that goes along with it, is really, really challenging. But perhaps we too can find blessings from our moments of challenge and our moments of clarity. Perhaps we can open ourselves up to a new width and breadth of possibility. And we are so grateful for your lesson, for your knowledge on this day of Elul. I see that there's many people who are here with us this morning, and so I just want to give a few shout outs. I cannot see everyone as I had hoped to, but I can see people on the Temple Facebook page. So I just want to say Riva, Kevin, Diane, Jay, Michelle, Donnie, Andrea, and Sarah, Riva and Pam and Erica and Karen, and everyone else who I can't currently see. I am so glad that you have chosen to take this time this morning to be with us. And for everyone who sees later on the day, for everyone who isn't showing up on my screen, I'm so glad that you have chosen to be part of this. The community is stronger and we all feel your presence, even if I can't see your name on the screen at the moment. I want to bring us back into Psalm 27. And to read the words as we do each day. There we go. To read the words. I hope that as we do, since each day there's a new teaching connected to these words, that the words will begin to take on more meaning for us, that we can reflect on each and every piece so that by the end of Elul, we will have so much to connect to within this psalm. And this psalm can be an outlet for the feelings that we hold. Of David, Adonai is my light and my victory. From whom shall I feel fright? Adonai is the stronghold of my life. From whom shall I feel terror? When evildoers approach me in battle to feed on my flesh, my pursuers, my adversaries, they have stumbled and they have fallen down. If a camp encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If a war arises against me, in this would I trust. One thing I have sought from Adonai, how I long for it, that I might live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, that I might look upon the sweetness of Adonai and spend time in the palace. That you might hide me in your sukkah on a chaotic day, hide me in the hiding places of your tent, raise me high upon a rock. Now my head rises above the enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of the truah, the shofar. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice. I am crying out. Be gracious to me. Answer me. My heart has said to you, seek my face. I am seeking your face, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, God of my deliverance. For my father and my mother have abandoned me, yet Adonai gathers me up. May your path, apparent to me, guide me in the upright road because of those up ahead who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the lust of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, puffing violently. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life, wait for Adonai. filling your waiting with hope in Adonai. Let your heart be strong and of good courage, and wait hopefully for Adonai. Today in Deborah Robbins' book, she focuses on this one word in bold right here, the word chayai. Now, the word chai is probably very familiar, chai meaning life, or chayim, like l'chaim, meaning life. But that extra yud at the end of chayai is a possessive. It means my life. And so we reflect about how we feel a personal God. Whether God feels like the right word or not, however we define it, I think that's up to us each individually of what this means for us. But a presence of something that we feel in times of challenge and also, I pray, times of joy. And so I'd like to read for you the liturgical poem within Robin's book this morning. I can see it on the page. Adding the letter Yud to the Hebrew word Chai makes it visually, spiritually possible. My life is only possible with two Yuds, the tiny letters that spell God's great name. God's name embedded into my life, God's name, God's presence, light, help, and strength as part of my life. God's most well-known name, Adonai, and three other names for God in this one verse are an invitation to call God by different names. Adonai, the first time I ever learned for you, as familiar as my own. I use this name to petition, to praise. My ancestors knew you, Adonai, Creator, Redeemer and Revealer. You are my God. My light, you illuminate the path, wrap me in sacred glow, shimmer within me. My help, remind me I am never alone. I don't have to do it all. We all need one who helps. My stronghold, you are my core strength. You are the one who powers everything from the center. Coach me to develop heart muscles, soul muscles, flexible and powerful. Sustain me as I train at this season, when I fear, when I forget, when I forgive, when I live fully. With you, Adonai, core strength of my life. In this day of Elul, at this season based on sacred connection, perhaps today is the day to think about the connections that we feel. Perhaps the word God doesn't feel quite right to us. Perhaps Adonai does. Perhaps force does. Whatever it is for us. But to think about the sacred connections in our lives, the things that uplift us, the things that give us meaning. Throughout this month of Elul, it is a beautiful practice to keep a journal, to write things down in one way or another, to use this time to take just a few minutes each day to work on sacred connections in our lives with something bigger than ourselves, with the people around us, and perhaps with ourselves as well. As we think about all of these things, we prepare to hear our shofar blast. And this morning we hear the shofar blast from a little light and miracle in my life, my daughter Talia. Takia, Shivari, Terua, Takia. May that shofar blast awaken us on this beautiful morning. Call us to action. Call us to awareness. Every morning, as we come to the close of our Elul reflection, we offer a prayer of healing, a Misha Barach, for all those who are in need of healing of mind, healing of body, and healing of spirit. And so I invite you to join with me this morning as we sing Lisa Levine's Misha Barach. Misha Barach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Misha Barach Avotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Barach Avotenu, Misha Barach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. I hope today is a day of healing, a day of strength, and a day of meaning. It's been lovely being with you this morning. And tomorrow morning we will come back again for Elul Day 5. I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day.